Flames Talk is brought to you by Molson, made from Canada. Beaches Quality Drywall, not just our name, it's our commitment. And South Centre Fine Cars, your Calgary Porsche dealership. Some interesting hockey notes this week. First of all, wow, CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, and I love Kelly Hrudey. I just love the way he analyzes it. I always thought he was a great guy when he played. I remember one time we picked the Flames to kick the LA Kings' ass.
He phoned from Banff.
Well, not only that, they were walking on, going to practice, and I was waiting for him, and he goes, "I can't believe you are picking the Flames over us."
We were doing a playoff preview show, and the LA Kings were in Banff, ready to play game one at the Saddledome against the Flames. And as how he said, he came up to me the next day, and it's how we constructed why the Flames would win that series and what we didn't like about LA. Yeah, he got all over us.
Yeah.
Cool. So on this past Saturday, on the hot stove, he was criticizing Rene Bourque of the Flames. Now, sometimes he kind of pads his criticism sometimes by saying, "I like the guy," or "this guy's a good guy," but he didn't. I've never seen Kelly Hrudey so bang on, so focused in his comment. And just to paraphrase, he says that Rene Bourque, why teams would be after him, it's a joke. No team would be after Rene Bourque, so forget these trade rumors. He also said his passion meter isn't between 1 and 10. His passion meter is turned off. This guy just doesn't care. And the reason why he went after him is because he's a talented guy with all the tools. He could be like a Milan Lucic without the toughness kind of guy. Strong, talented, power forward, but he's not. He makes, I think it's a $3.5 million cap hit, makes a lot of money, long-term deal. He has 5 goals, no assists, looks uninspired. So bang on Kelly Hrudey, and bad on you, Rene Bourque, but those of us who have seen him play regularly in Calgary know he's like this on a continual basis.
Wow, and that's what when I said I read that in a Boston paper that they were thinking about that because they wanted to up their scoring.
Why would they want him?
Why? I mean, this guy's a headache. I mean, he is frustrating to watch. Interesting to see Hagman goes on waivers. It's about time. Should have done it with Stage and 2. Bite this salary, just bite it. Put some young kids out there. You do a number of things. You put these young kids. It shows that it's exciting hockey. Let these kids play, Grant.
Well, they are doing that now, though, aren't they?
Exactly, they are. And they should be doing this because it shows the fans that you care. It shows the fans, hey, we're not going to settle for this stuff. Let's go. Let these young players come in here, play the game.
This would not have happened under Daryl Sutter's watch.
Of course it wouldn't.
But look at right now, they got Corey Sarich making over $3 million. They got Matt Stajan, and you've got Hagman, either not playing or in the minors. That's almost $10 million not playing. So Paul Byron comes up for the minor leagues, has a so-so game against Chicago. Pretty good game, scores a goal in Denver. And then TJ Brody on defense. Again, these guys aren't making a big difference, but they're trying. They're better than the old guys making big money, not doing much.
Anything.
So I think it's time the Flames did this. I still think something is in the works.
I do too.
I still think something is in the works, or somebody says now the Flames have realized now, because they've tried to make deals, nobody wants their players or nobody wants their bad contracts, so they're stuck. Feaster's been trying to make a deal, can't do it, so therefore now he's going to plan B, and that is bringing up these young guys. So for a team probably not going anywhere this year, I think this is the better alternative.
Yeah. Two Calgary Flames went into the Hall of Fame this week, Joe Nieuwendyk and Doug Gilmour, and it takes us back to another era when hockey was certainly king in Calgary, and boy, they were great to watch. When I think about Doug Gilmour, Grant, I think about, and I think it was you told me this story. It was back in the days when they were playing Montreal in the Stanley Cup final, and they lost to Montreal. And the old guard, being Jim Poplinski and Tim Hunter, and some of the older leaders, started to panic a little bit. Come on, you guys, we can't do this. It's going to be like it was in '86, and we'll lose. And that's when Doug Gilmour grabbed the game by the horns and said, "Hey, this is not '86. We're a different team. We're going to beat these guys." And I think he was the silent hero that people didn't have the C or A, but he was the undisputed leader of that team.
Absolutely, no question about that. They would not have won the Stanley Cup without Doug Gilmour. The vision I have, the memory I have is Gilmour. Do you remember when he would score a goal in the playoff, especially in the Stanley Cup final against Montreal? He would raise his stick, but he had those eyes, man. He looked like Rocket Richard, those eyes and the unshaven look. He had the look that we are going to win. Exactly what you just said. Yeah. Where, Pep and landing those guys, their better days were behind them, and they were the image of the team. But he was the balls of the team. He was driving this team, and guys responded to that. You need players like that. And I think Jerome McGinley's like that with the Flames. He's not like Doug Gilmour. He's more the nice guy, leader of the team. Flames don't have that fiery guy, and clearly Killer was like that. That's why they called him Killer. And he was small. He wasn't a big guy. He wasn't a big guy at all, but he had the big fight. Now, Joe Nieuwendyk, I think, now there's a guy. It's funny when they, who did they get for Joe? Oh yeah, Jerome McGinley. I think they got to do that kind of trade again. But anyways.
Kent Nielsen to get Joe Nieuwendyk. Joe Who turned into Jerome McGinley.
One of the most talented centers I've ever seen play the game. Not overly tough, not overly fast, but just a great player. His lacrosse skills with that stick, parked by the side of the net where he could just dipsy-doodle that puck into the net. I thought Joe Nieuwendyk was one of the best centers I've ever seen play for the Flames. And in my opinion, the Flames have not had a skilled center like Nieuwendyk since Joe Nieuwendyk. And that's a long time because he was traded in the mid-90s. And that's 16 years since they've had a skilled centerman with that quality of play than Joe Nieuwendyk.
And I still think to this day that the Risebrough trade of Gilmour to Toronto was the demise of this franchise, and they never really recovered from it.
Interesting. I think you're right. The economics of the game changed. Cliff Fletcher, when he left in 1990 to go to Toronto, knew the economics of hockey was about to change. Flames owners weren't about to give him all this kinds of money to keep all their stars around. So he got out when the getting was good, and it was going to fall.
And he fleeced the crap out of the Flames.
Doug Risebrough was ill-equipped with the new economic day, and his buddy, well, his partner, his old boss, Cliff Fletcher, did fleece him. And that trade is probably one of the worst. What is the second worst trade in franchise history? The Dion Phaneuf trade, too, by Darryl Sutter. Those are the two trades. But Joe Nieuwendyk, Doug Gilmour, two great Flames that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.